Hey, what'd you guys think? I thought maybe I'd give you guys a little bit more time to just kind of get seated, get a nice little spot there as you were reminded of Stock Watch Sunday. So 5 minutes before, if you guys are just watching this, you'll see that I went live a little before I revealed myself. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of time to roll in. It seems to be working out so well. We got lots of folks that tuned in early, so you're here. We're up to 36, which hopefully I'll get at least 36 likes out of this video. Just push that thumbs up button, guys. I really appreciate it to get us started for Stock Watch Sunday. So welcome if you're visiting for the first time. I go live every Sunday from 8:30 or at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and go over the stocks that I am watching throughout the week. So if you're visiting for the first time, welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and I trade over-the-counter penny stocks for a living. Now, for the folks that are tuning in, they are all really pretty much coming from our community over at WeTradeHQ.com. It's absolutely free to join. We have over 4,200 members from around the world learning and growing and celebrating each other's success. And it's not just focused on penny stocks. Even though this channel is, I founded WeTradeHQ with my partner Jake with the everyday trader in mind. No matter what area in the market that you were trading for, WeTradeHQ is the place for you. So go check it out. We have all kinds of different areas of the market that you would like to trade in. We have folks that would be there for you. So let me welcome some folks in here as well. What's going on? Quick Fox, Josh, Michelle, good to see you. Alan, Taroma, Shark, some familiar faces as always. WeTradeHQ, good to see you there as well. Dwayne, Mark, Kenneth, MN Silver. What's going on? Beam me up. So, what's going on? Oh my goodness, I can't talk. So, what's going on? Got a few stocks we're watching throughout this week. Some new ones, some that were rolling over from last week. They've just continued to see 52-week highs. So, we're going to go over some of those just to kind of give my perspective on where I think they're headed from here. And then, as we always do for Stock Watch Sunday, throw me some tickers that you would like me to look over as well. Now, just kind of like a little housekeeping rule, I like to, for you to provide me more than just thoughts on and then insert ticker here. Give me a little bit more substance to it. That way I can run a little bit more efficient with my live stream, and I have at least some sort of direction on where I'm going instead of just spitting out a ticker and starting from scratch, starting from square one. Just takes a little bit more time to do that. And so if I at least have some sort of direction of where I'm headed, I can at least, run that a little bit more efficiently. There's got to be a reason that you're looking at a ticker, right? So give me some sort of reasoning behind it. And then that way we can kind of get a head start on searching out those tickers. So also like to, wish everybody, all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day. Hopefully you guys have been taking care of your moms. And before you watch this, because Sunday's almost over, so if you haven't taken care of your mom today, you better get on it. Just leave this live stream right now. Just go take your mom. Call your mom, tell her you love her, and all that good stuff. So one thing that I did want to cover before we get into the stocks that I'm watching is that I had a contest that I was running on our Facebook group. So if you're not part of Facebook, go over to WeTradeHQ over on Facebook. And I had people inviting people into our group, and they were entered into a drawing. So lots of people came in, and Megan was the winner. She invited a ton of people, and so therefore her odds were ever in her favor because of the amount of people that she was able to invite in. So what Megan has won is a free mentorship, free 1 month mentorship within the 9 to 10 a.m. morning mentorship that I have with an exclusive group over on Discord. So if you're interested in checking that out, the links are down in the description below. If you're interested in the mentorship as well, I go live with folks from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time, just to kind of look over what's moving in the market, pre-market, and then making a plan and executing that plan after the market opens. And sometimes the plan might just be to sit on your hands and not do anything and wait for things to develop. Other times it's, okay, we need to react right now. And so you'll be able to get my reactions and watch me trade and stuff like that over at the morning mentorship. So congrats to you, Megan, who has won the morning mentorship over at WeTradeHQ for In the Chaos. And so I'm actually thinking about doing another contest sort of thing where I'll be giving away a mentorship. And it's not just for people who have never been in the mentorship. If you are currently in there and you want to win a month free, I'll be doing some sort of contest. Maybe it's just something here within the YouTube space. But I'll think of something and we'll get to it. So, anyways, what's going on, Joker? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys as I usually do, and go over the top stocks that I'm watching for this week. All right, so first one is gonna be ASKH. Now, this is a little bit one of, you guys know that I have some of these dark horse type plays that I'm watching, during the week. Maybe something new pops up and I'm not ready to fully commit and fully pull the trigger on something. But ASKH is actually kind of an old friend, if you will. They were going through a acquisition / merger, last year, like last February, I want to say, somewhere around there. And, it's ASKH. They've had a tough go of it. So they were pretty dormant for the most part for quite some time. If you go and look at their filings here, and I guess I should back up a little bit. The chart obviously looks like it needs some volume here in order to really get going. It was up 36% on Friday, got some more eyeballs on it. People were starting to buy in. There wasn't a whole lot of people that were able to get their bids filled. So they were forced to buy on the ask price. And so that's kind of where it's been going from here. A couple of folks within the morning mentorship were able to get in ASKH as well because they see potential value here. And it all pertains to this merger. As you can see, I Like BB Stock shared quite a bit of it about it as well. And what's going on? So the first thing that I always do when I'm doing due diligence, right, is I'm going to look at the chart. I'm going to look it up on OTC markets and do some more fundamental type of due diligence on this. And I see that share structure is super tiny. So that explains why the chart looks like this. It looks pretty illiquid, right? So there's a double-edged sword with this. If, in fact, ASKH starts to go off, it could skyrocket in a hurry. The buying pressure doesn't need to be all that great in order to get the price per share, really moving. And so the double-edged sword is that it's not going to take much selling to really kind of have it come all the way back down as well. So, exercise caution, manage your risk appropriately with something that has a share structure like ASKH, and I think you'll be just fine. But why am I watching it? Well, going back to the disclosures here, they've just recently got their filings together. So if you look, basically starting April 15th all the way up to Friday, they had all their filings together, and they are now current. Before they were not current, they were delinquent, and they got all their filings together. This doesn't happen for no particular reason. Companies do this all the time where they're delinquent, haven't heard from them in a while. Maybe there's reasons as to why, but there's always a reason as to why they get themselves current. And for the most part, it's because they have something that they want to basically let the public know. And in order to do that, they need to get themselves current, especially if they're SEC reporting. So with ASKH, most notably, and maybe this isn't the reason that they're getting themselves current, but it certainly would make sense as to why they would do this. And it's because of this. There's an 8-K back on February 18th, 2018. Okay, that they were, ASKH announces letter of intent to purchase Chinese textile and home furnishings company. And it's a Chinese home furnishings company. It's very popular Chinese home furnishings company. And then we never heard from them again. And so this is kind of why I'm not the biggest fan of LOIs, and buying, stocks as a catalyst on LOIs, because sometimes they just fall through. So, whenever you see a letter of intent, always understand that there's risk involved with that it could take some time before it actually goes through. And this is one of those instances what it did. The reason for that being, though, is because it looks as if, based off of the other filings they had coming out, that they had some issues with their accounting firms and, had a really tough time getting, those filings together. So with ASKH, that's kind of like what I'm talking about with like a wild card type of play, or like one of those dark horse type of plays that I always talk about in my Stock Watch Sunday. I always have one of those. I always have like my surefire ones that, yes, this is where it looks like this company is going. But for ASKH, there's a lot of question marks still. And so we won't for sure see why they're getting themselves current until they come out with it, right? And so that's the only thing that I have to go off of. All the dots are leading, that I'm connecting are leading to this acquisition, that maybe it's still in play. But if it's not, maybe there's a whole new direction they're going in, because looking at the disclosures previously, they don't have anything going on. The nice thing is it doesn't appear that they have too much debt either. But I guess we'll just kind of see. It's a wait and see. If you're looking to make a play on ASKH, it looks like it's starting to get bought up because of speculation, because of hype, and we all know that we can make money off of that sort of thing. But understanding that you have to manage your risk wisely, and don't be throwing the boat at it or anything like that. Get a starter position if you think you see value in something like that, and then scale yourself in if in fact it might make sense to average up, or maybe perhaps if you continue to see value and you want to average down, that could be perfectly acceptable. At any rate, make sure that you're always protecting your initial investment at all costs. That's the way that I've been able to do this for a living. A lot of my other mentors and other veteran traders have been able to do this for a living because they're protecting their initial investment, and then so that they can basically live to fight another day and trade other things in the market, keeping themselves liquid. So for me, when I'm looking to trade stuff, especially things like ASKH, I'm going to start small, get like a starter position. And then if it starts to take off and I scale myself in, I average up maybe. And then, if I get to a certain percentage, for me personally, I'm looking to get into something that's at least going to double my money. So ASKH, we're looking there. Once I get 100%, initial investment, I cut that position in half, protect my initial investment, protect the money that I used to buy the stock, and that way everything else is in there as free shares. So that no matter what I sell for at that point, it's all going to be 100% profit. And then I can use that initial investment money to go buy something else elsewhere. Now, for ASKH, this will be the same type of deal. I'm going to manage my risk very tightly here. I'm going to watch it very closely. And if things don't go the way that I think they're going, then I'm going to cut my losses real quick. If, in fact, I do experience any losses, and then, just move on. But that's going to be one of my dark horses, if you will, like I said. And, yeah. That's just it. I mean, there's always a reason why companies put out these filings. We see this all the time, and sometimes when they put filings out to get themselves current, it means that they are looking to come out with some sort of exciting news or a catalyst that may impact the price per share of their stock. So just checking here. Let's see. Oh, Alan, thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Always seems to be that on Stockwatch Sunday, people will start donating to the channel. So I always appreciate any and all support. And so thank you so much, Alan, for that. I really do appreciate that. I always like to call that out. Kenneth Rosenberg, PRED, now $4, bought at $2. Great job. Make sure that you're protecting your initial investment, just like we talked about, or at least managing your risk however you see fit. But don't. My thing is just don't be hanging on to everything forever like it's going to be some life changer stock, right? People get wrapped up into that all the time. I see it so many times. They get into something, it runs 1,000%, and they're like, this is going to be my zip code changer. This is going to change my life. It's going to make me a millionaire. And it rarely works out that way. So, just at least cover yourself, manage your risk wisely so that you don't get burned, and then, and then start playing other stuff. Diversifying your account is really how you're going to win down here. And, making sure that you don't have all your eggs in one basket is really going to be the best way to protect yourself and manage that risk. So let's go Raptors, Samir. Thoughts on every stock. All right. Thoughts on new lawsuits and QPRC. We will be talking about QPRC shortly. Just seeing if anybody has any pending questions. All right. So then we'll move on to the next one. Next one's going to be BMMJ. So we've talked about this in the past, and I actually took this off the Stockwatch Sunday either this week or last week because it didn't seem like there was much going on. But it has made a hell of a climb back from its low, its crazy sell-off down here at 95. We got into this at 78 cents way back in March. And you guys know me that I like to, invest into a lot of these stocks. I like to find quality positions and build around them so that I have a good core group of positions to basically build out my account. And that's where, you could really see a lot of success. Some of my biggest winners come from building positions. BMMJ was one of those. Got in at 78 cents and it ran all the way up to 270, highs at 270. Obviously, I protected my initial investment during that run. And then it tanked all the way back down because they came out with an offering. It came to basically the reaction to everybody was like they were freaking out. There's a huge sell-off within like minutes. Came all the way back up, and we were able to capitalize on that. A lot of us folks were, and then it ran all the way back up to now over 2-cent highs since that initial dip. And so I was able basically to capitalize on this twice. Bought back down here when it dropped down, and now it came back up. I'm back on free shares, and this thing just keeps on giving. We've talked about this before, about their connections with Aurora Cannabis and Australis. They're both Canada-based companies. BMMJ is also a Canada-based company, and it's a company that's involved in the cannabis industry, and they have dispensaries all over the U.S., most notably and recently within Nevada, California, Arkansas, and they're basically looking to spread themselves out. They have other products as well that provides value to BMMJ, and I think that as long as Aurora Cannabis and Australis stays in the picture with BMMJ, we could see a nice little move and upwards of maybe $3 or more. I think that the initial scare of the offering is kind of what drew people away initially. And then when people started to realize that offering was on restricted shares, and the offering wasn't even going to be touchable for 6 months at least, people were like, okay, well, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to still invest in BMMJ, still see the value here. And I think that perhaps we could even see a push to $3 in June. Now, again, I'm not telling you that that's exactly what's going to happen, but given the trend that had happened before the announcement of that offering, and those highs up around 270, I think that the value is still here. Nothing changed between what happened, when I was at 270 and when it tanked all the way back down to 90 or 80, 90 cents, and it came back. So other than the offering, nothing changed, and the offering again really wasn't that big of a deal. So I think that BMMJ is gonna continue to recover. It was nice to see it pop up over 2 cents again. That was a pretty key resistance area, and I think that we'll see a nice little move on BMMJ this week and perhaps even into June. So continue to keep that on your radar if you are not invested in BMMJ, and so if there's an opportunity that lends itself to enter into this on the chart. Like I said, I think $2 was probably a good spot to really kind of get that entry. You can see it was a pretty tough resistance, and now it's broken over that. So I don't have any reason to believe that it's going to continue to break out over that resistance, and we'll see where this thing ends up. So let me see here. Anybody have any questions about those two? Yeah, BMMJ made a lot of people good money. Shaking out weekends, Jesse. Yeah, it sure did. It's Jesse's zip code changer there. Yeah, so Joker was saying waiting for re-entry. BMMJ really want to hold on long term due to ACB positions, which ACB is Aurora Cannabis. Yeah, I mean, it really just it just keeps on giving, and the stock is just so strong. It's just lots of long-term value, I think, here for BMMJ. And so Calibra, I just kind of addressed as far as what your entries should be on that one. So again, just look at the chart, and I know that you're in the mentorship, so feel free to ask about that, tomorrow in the mentorship. But I have gone over it at length as far as entries and stuff like that, but definitely don't mind, chatting about that with you in the morning or even later tonight. So next one's going to be VNUE. VNUE broke a key resistance this week, and that was at 0040. I can't remember if I talked to you guys about this in a midday market recap or if maybe I was just talking to it with my mentorship group, but I told them or you guys that the key resistance was at 0040, and that if VNUE could have kept themselves out of too much dilution, then we could see a nice little pop up over 004 and maybe even a nice little move to 005. I think that's the next key area of resistance. And then after that, it'll be 006. If they continue to come out with positive catalysts and positive moves as far as VNUE is concerned, then I think that we could see a nice little run to a penny as long as dilution stays off. They have a significant amount of notes, so please be cautious of that. And again, don't just buy into something without doing any due diligence or don't have any understanding on the stock, or simply because I see value in it doesn't mean that you should. But VNUE, I think, as long as the dilution stays away and they continue to come out with positive catalysts moving forward, I think that VNUE can make a nice move to 004. Why? Well, because the share structure actually isn't bad at all. Total outstanding shares 294,000 or 294 million. Really is a manageable share structure. Even if the entire float is this OS 294 million, it's really movable. Not anything that couldn't be easily overcome. Again, like I said, as long as the note holders, and they have been actively diluting. But the thing is that there's been enough retail dollar volume coming in to get this thing moving back up. We made perfect entries in the mid twos here. Lots of lucky folks got in the teens, but at 0025, 0022, they were really good entries for VNUE. We're right at that 100% mark for this one, but I still think that there's a nice continuation now that it's broken that key resistance at 004, and then the next hurdle here I think is going to be at 005. What do they do? What do they got going on? Well, I've talked about VNUE last week in Stockwatch Sunday as far as like what kind of products they offer. And so, and one of the latest tweets by singer-songwriter Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20, he's actually, I guess, on tour. And he said, due to the incredible popularity on the recent Borgata shows, instant live CDs to be available across the Chiptooth tour. We have again partnered with VNUE Inc. and will be offering limited edition numbered CD sets for each show on the tour. Now, if you guys remember me talking about this last Sunday, they have a software where, like, if you're at a concert, such as a concert with Rob Thomas, then you can basically get a CD or some sort of, like a flash drive, whatever, recording of that, and you can buy it as you're walking out the door. So I thought this was a really good concept. I think that what they have going on as far as a business could be extremely valuable to other big names that they have going on. They've worked with big names such as Keith Urban and a bunch of other really big name bands. And so I think that, like, I don't know. I just think that VNUE has a good long-term potential to it. And as you guys know, I look for stuff to make long-term swings and stuff like that. And this is another one that I think could really continue to make a nice move as far as I'm concerned. So any comments on that one? Let me tune in. Let me check in. 55 here, only 25 likes. Yes, please hit that thumbs up, people. 55 folks in here. That's pretty good. Alrighty. Let's see. Do you think with the 3 green candles there's a nice sell-off to buy into? There could be on VNUE. So let me just take a look. It's tough. I think that if perhaps it does break that, because we got to talk about this too. Old resistances become new support. So now that it's broken over 0040 and it closed at 0041 on Friday, we're going to have to watch to see if it actually breaks that support 0040 again. If it breaks that support, then I could see it coming back down to, probably not far, because 0040 was such a strong resistance. My theory is that it's probably going to be a pretty significant support now. So if it breaks that, I think that it may come back down to 0035, 0036, may lend you an opportunity to either enter in or add to your position if it comes down that low. But again, like if the dilution stays off, or at least continues to dilute at a minimum. We saw ALPS, which is a known dilutive market maker, MAXM, also a known dilutive market maker, hopping on and off the ask price on VNUE, but it wasn't to a point to where it was so detrimental to where the price action couldn't move. And so that's what you look for. That even though that there is some dilution, almost every OTC stock out there, I would say probably, if I had to guess, 80% of over-the-counter stocks have convertible debt. And so, VNUE is no stranger to that. So as long as that convertible debt isn't to a point where it's just overcoming the stock and it's really struggling to move, then I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. The other thing is that if those diluted market makers just kind of keep bouncing on and off of the ask price, it could also indicate that perhaps they are almost done with all of the notes that they're looking to convert, which if that be the case, VNUE could definitely make a nice little run, 005, 006, even to a penny if perhaps those notes are done and over with until the new notes come in to do their conversions. So great stuff, I think, with VNUE. Also important to note that the CEO, Zach Baer, sold his previous company to Mark Cuban. So the guy knows what he's doing. I don't think that he would be doing anything malicious to, and not do anything that wouldn't be best for investors and stuff like that. So I think VNUE has some really great potential. Alrighty. All right, you have a great weekend as well. Okay, so the next one moving on to is going to be QPRC. QPRC experienced new 52-week highs this past week. We've been talking about this now for the last several weeks, and it's continued to really make its climb. For those of us in the WeTrade HQ community, as well as my morning mentorship, have now experienced well over 400% gains. 400% gains on QPRC. So QPRC has been a great stock for anybody involved. What's going on with them? Well, they recently uplisted to QB, so now they are OTC QB. So that's a distinguished listing in the OTC. So they're not pink anymore. And basically you have to meet a certain set of criteria as far as the quality of the company, the quality of stock, also maintaining certain price per share to receive OTC QB status. Is this super impactful? My quick answer is no. It's not super impactful to where it's going to drastically impact the stock any. But it's always nice to know that you have that I don't know, safety net of the QB, that are at least trying to become a little legitimate company. And QPRC has been making huge strides towards that. We saw within their latest 10K that they were able to bring on more. They have a much bigger portfolio of patents. So what is their business? Again, I don't know if you're new talking about the business that they do. They are in the business of basically buying up these patents that potential companies have infringed upon, and then they go after them for patent infringement. So they basically sue them, and that's what the business is revolved around. They have 118 patents right now currently in their portfolio that they're looking to potentially settle with. They've settled with major companies such as Asus, Acer, and Texas Instruments, an array of other ones. They also have pending cases against companies like Apple, Amazon, and most recently they tweeted out too that joint motion dismissed with prejudice of, what was this one? CXT Systems, Taylor Brands. I believe that's the one that is connected to Men's Warehouse, if I'm not mistaken. And so, yeah, they just, they're putting out tweets now to just kind of keep us updated on what they have going on. Huawei is another one that they have pending settlement with. And yeah, I think in the last time I updated you guys on QPRC, I think that we talked about how they basically had 30 days to go through a mediation process with Amazon. So that's definitely one that we're going to have to watch closely on. And so, yeah, I think QPRC has just been doing great. Over a 400% gain on that one. I think that it will continue just based off of everything they have going on. If they didn't have other pending catalysts as far as QPRC is concerned, I would say, you know what? It's probably not going to be one that I'm going to continue with, because there's just nothing else coming down the road. QPRC has a ton coming down the road. So, obviously I've already protected my initial investment, riding on free shares here, and I'm just enjoying the ride at this point. So, again, ASKH, kind of like that wild card one this week. BMMJ, VNUE, and again, QPRC are my stocks to watch this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and check on you guys, see how you're doing. And we're going to talk about maybe some potential stocks that, that you would like me to take a look at. and we can go from there. Do some due diligence there. All right. Lee Davis, a little late. That's all right, man. Hey, glad to have you. Anyone watching AXA this week? Not watching AXA. Look, the thing is with AXA is that feels like there's a lot of bags created with AXA, and you can go back and look at the chart on all the volume that came in and everybody that kind of sold out. All those people that bought in so high, either they're out or they're holding. And just based off of the chart alone, I think there's like a lot of people that, as soon as AXA starts to make a move, they're going to want to get out. It could impact the price per share as far as being able to allow that to really get a move on. So I'm not saying that AXA can't move, but it's going to need some substantial dollar volume to kind of really get it moving again like it moved once before. Made insane moves before. I know a lot of people that made a really great trade on AXXA. I was not in it previously, missed the boat on that one completely. Do I think that it has another move like that in it? Potentially, but I think there's a lot of people that are so apprehensive about it now because of the extreme volatility that they experienced before and the amount of bags that are in that one too, that it could make it for a bumpy ride if in fact it starts to get any kind of positive catalyst coming their way. All right, let's see here. Alan's also riding freebies with QPRC. Sure did, buddy. So yeah, again, hit that like button. I certainly would appreciate it. And yeah, let's see what else we got. So TRTC has a QX rating, and they are $21 million in debt. How important are those things really? Very important. So Driver Dave, and it also depends on if it's convertible or not. So, and $21 million in debt, that's a pretty substantial amount of debt. Even if they are a QX, just because they're in debt doesn't mean that they should be disallowed to be uplisted to a QX rating. It just means that they've got all their filings in order, they've maintained a certain price per share, lots of other things that go into QX qualification. But the amount of debt that you have doesn't disqualify you from that listing. I mean, we just talked about this within the WeTrade HQ community about recent IPOs of Lyft and Uber. They're not profitable. They have tons of debt. But they're still able to be listed on NASDAQ. But a lot of that also has to do with the amount of revenue they're bringing in, potential valuation of the company, that sort of thing. And so debt is a huge thing, especially in the OTC. If that debt is in the form of convertible debt, dilutive shares, it's severely going to impact the company. $21 billion is a ton. I sure hope that they're going to be bringing in a lot of money to overcome that debt. Joker, did you or anyone for that matter see the tweet from Bobby Blair? He was talking from Proud Money about LGBTQ index. So Joker's asking about LFAP, which is another one that I do actually have a lot of, I do have a healthy position on. I see a lot of value in LFAP. They're an LGBTQ ETF. And so I did not see the tweet actually. So I'll have to go back and watch that one. But that was one. So LFAP is one that I think that we could see a nice move into the month of June. If you're not aware, June is Pride Month. So the LGBTQ community, that would be like a huge month for them. I would be shocked if LFAP didn't have anything up their sleeve for Pride Month looking forward. So that's one that I think that we could see a nice little spike on LFAP moving into June. It's struggled here and there over recent weeks, but I think that it's probably just because of lack of catalysts, lack of really kind of anything going on. So the selling off, and it's all been low volume, and the reason for that being is because I think it's just boredom. People are bored, and that happens a lot of times. If people aren't patient enough to hang around for a stock, you start to see some selling. But I think that it lends opportunities for people to possibly add to dips. If you weren't able to take a position on it before, you felt like you missed out. I think now for LFAP could be a good opportunity to do that. Again, I still see a lot of longer term potential for LFAP. Do you ever average back up after taking freebies? That's a good question, Jesse. So sometimes I do. It depends. Like if I'm already in something, let's just say QPRC, I don't know, settles for $1 trillion with Apple, and it's just a hypothetical. Some major catalyst comes out, and I'm like, "Ooh, I want to get in on that." It's worth chasing at this point because I know that it's probably going to go higher, even though that I have a pretty decent position. If I think that I have potential to make more money as the stock's running up, yeah, I mean, I'll add to it for sure. who's gonna turn down money? So I would only do something like that if there was like a major catalyst that came out that I knew was really gonna send it. And so that's probably one of the instances where I would, or situations where I would probably average up for something like that. Basically hinting closer, blah blah blah. Lots of convertible. Okay, Dave. Yeah, yeah. Convertible debt is always terrible for a stock. Um, and again, we've talked about this before. Convertible debt can be overcome as long as there's enough dollar volume coming in to basically chew up all that convertible debt. But if there's nothing but convertible debt coming in, and that ratio of dollar volume, of retail dollar volume comes in, and it's not able to overcome that dilutive debt, that's when things can really be trouble for a stock, and really getting it to kind of move. That price action can really suffer if there's convertible debt coming in, not enough dollar volume coming in from the retail side to overcome that. So we talked about VNUE, that it seems like that there's a pretty healthy balance there. BMMJ of all stocks also has a pretty healthy balance. One that we talked about, and it's already made moves, significant moves, even with that dilution that they have going on. But it's enough to where there's dollar volume coming in, and there's shares converting, but it's still basically you got people that are coming in that are overcoming that debt, and still allowing the price per share to move up. And so there's plenty of instances where we've seen stocks go from 5 cents, 10 cents, even $1, come all the way down to triple zeros because of that toxic dilutive debt. It's a very terrible thing when it's a situation like that. $21 million, if all that's convertible debt, that is seriously serious trouble if they can't figure out a better way to take care of all of that. So let's see. Man, I feel like I need a drink. Been talking a lot. If Brad can figure out the market, you can figure out the like button. That's right. So give me a thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it. What else we got? It's all good. No need to apologize, my man. All right. Well, it looks like all the other questions are drying up. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I will come up with a better type of contest or whatever, and I'll reach out to Megan as well as to provide her with her free month of mentorship. And if, again, you are interested in joining that, the links are down in the description below. Or if you just want to hang out, take advantage of all the free stuff, just be in WeTrade HQ. Go to WeTradeHQ.com. Check out that's what the platform that I was using throughout this entire video was over there at WeTrade HQ. I was doing my technical analysis, and as you could see, there was a forum where I could talk with all of my friends about my favorite tickers, and plenty of other great tools that WeTrade HQ provides you for free. But if you feel like you want to up your trading game, you want to learn from veteran traders like myself or other people that are trading in other areas of the market, those mentorships are available to you as well. And we started WeTrade HQ with you guys in mind. We knew that we didn't want to break anybody's bank, and in fact offer more value than what we were charging you for. And honestly, I charge $49.99 a month. It's really not that big of a deal. I know that your cable bills cost more than that. Your internet bill probably costs more than that. So in order for a shot to give me a chance to change your life, go check out WeTradeHQ.com under my mentors. Sign up for my mentorship. I guarantee you won't regret it. And so that is it for me, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I will see you all before the bell. And B. Smith is out. Have a great rest of your Mother's Day, and I will see you tomorrow.